The clock struck midnight as I sat alone in the dimly lit office, the hum of the air conditioner the only sound breaking the eerie silence. I rubbed my tired eyes, regretting taking the night shift. The flickering fluorescent lights above my cubicle cast unsettling shadows on the beige walls, creating a suffocating atmosphere. I tried to focus on my work, the glow of my computer screen providing a feeble source of light. The building seemed to groan and creak, its ancient bones protesting the late hour. The night shift was supposed to be uneventful, just me and the hum of the machines, but something felt off. An unsettling feeling gnawed at the pit of my stomach. As I stared at the monitor, my eyes caught a movement in my peripheral vision. I turned my head sharply, expecting to find nothing but the empty rows of cubicles. The office was deserted, or so I thought. The shadows seemed to dance, taking on sinister shapes that vanished when I looked directly at them. I shook off the unease, attributing it to exhaustion and the loneliness of the night. But as I delved back into my work, a soft whisper echoed through the office. I strained to listen, convinced it was just the wind outside or the building settling. But the whisper persisted, growing louder and more distinct.
Stay here.
The voice seemed to come from all directions, an ethereal symphony of haunting murmurs. My heart raced as I scanned the empty office, searching for the source. It couldn't be real. It had to be my imagination playing tricks on me. My coworkers had warned me about the eerie occurrences during the night shift, but I dismissed them as exaggerations. I stood up, my chair scraping against the cold floor. The whispered words continued, weaving a chilling melody in the air. The office felt alive with an unseen presence, watching my every move. I stumbled over to the water cooler, hoping a splash of cold water on my face would dispel the hallucinations. As I approached the cooler, the whispers intensified, becoming more urgent.
Stay here with us.
I hesitated, my trembling hand reaching for the water dispenser. The air thickened, and a sudden drop in temperature sent shivers down my spine. The fluorescent lights flickered, casting the office into momentary darkness. Panic set in as I fumbled for my phone, my only lifeline to the outside world. The darkness receded and the light steadied, but the atmosphere remained charged with an otherworldly presence. I dialed a number, desperate for a familiar voice to anchor me in reality. The phone rang once, twice, and then a voice, distorted and cold, answered.
You can't escape.
My breath caught in my throat as I dropped the phone, the echoes of that haunting voice lingering in my mind. I stumbled back to my cubicle, the shadows now morphing into sinister shapes that seemed to reach out for me. The office, once a mundane workspace, had transformed into a realm of malevolence. I tried to gather my belongings, my trembling hands struggling to stuff papers into my bag. The whispers grew louder, an unholy chorus that echoed through the desolate halls. As I approached the exit, the temperature plummeted and my breath turned to frost in the air. A figure materialized at the end of the hallway, its features obscured by the shadows. It beckoned to me, a spectral hand extending from the darkness. Fear rooted me to the spot as the figure glided towards me, the whispers now a deafening roar in my ears.
Stay here forever.
I turned and ran, the office becoming a labyrinth of nightmares. The walls seemed to close in on me, the air thick with the malevolent force that pursued me. The exit remained elusive, a mirage in the suffocating darkness. The flickering lights cast grotesque shadows that danced with a life of their own. I stumbled and fell, my knees scraping against the cold floor. The whispers surrounded me, their words a cacophony of despair. I closed my eyes, praying for the nightmare to end. But when I opened them, I found myself back in my cubicle, the clock striking midnight once again. The cycle repeated, each iteration more distorted and terrifying than the last. I was trapped in a nightmarish loop, the office a labyrinth of torment. The whispers became a maddening chant, urging me to embrace the eternal darkness. As the clock struck midnight for what felt like the 1,000th time, I succumbed to the shadows, the haunting whispers consuming my sanity. The office, once a mundane workspace, became my eternal prison, a realm where the night shift never ended and the darkness claimed all who dared to venture into its grasp. As I went about my routine tasks, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The air felt charged with tension, and an unsettling silence clung to the convenience store like a thick fog. The fluorescent lights overhead buzzed intermittently, casting erratic shadows that seemed to dance with a life of their own. A bell above the entrance jingled, announcing the arrival of a customer. I looked up, expecting to see a weary traveler, but the doorway remained empty. A shiver ran down my spine, and a voice, chilling in its clarity, echoed through the store.
I need help.
I spun around to find a figure standing near the chip aisle. A person, not a ghost. Their eyes wide and wild, a manic glint shining through the darkness. A surge of fear gripped me as I assessed the situation. The night had just taken a turn for the sinister, and the person approached the counter, their movements erratic and unpredictable. I forced a nervous smile, my hands fidgeting beneath the counter. "Can I help you with something?" The stranger's eyes bore into mine, and a sly grin crept across their face.
Help me find it.
They whispered, their voice carrying an unsettling intensity. "Find what?" I stammered, my eyes darting around the store for an escape route. The stranger's gaze remained fixed on me as they reached into their pocket, pulling out a crumpled piece of paper. It was a crude drawing, depicting a hidden compartment within the store. My heart raced as I recognized the layout. It was the gas station, but the drawing revealed a secret room I never knew existed.
Open it.
They urged, their eyes glinting with a dangerous fervor. Reluctantly, I followed their instructions, revealing a hidden door behind a shelf of dusty snacks. The air thickened with tension as I swung the door open, revealing a dark and cramped space. The stranger's grin widened, their excitement palpable. As I hesitated at the threshold, the stranger pushed past me, their manic laughter echoing through the hidden room. Panic set in as I realized the room was filled with a chaotic assortment of makeshift weapons, old newspapers with erratic scribbles, and a makeshift bed of tattered blankets.
This is my sanctuary,
the stranger declared, their eyes gleaming with madness.
And now, you're a part of it.
The realization hit me like a freight train. I was alone in the hidden room with a psychotic stranger. The dim light revealed the stranger's face, contorted with a mix of desperation and obsession. My mind raced as I contemplated how to scout this nightmarish situation. In a moment of opportunity, I sprinted back into the store, the stranger's laughter echoing behind me. I fumbled for my phone, desperately dialing the authorities as I barricaded myself behind the counter. The stranger pounded on the hidden door, their frenzied cries growing more unhinged. As the distant wail of sirens approached, the stranger's demeanor shifted from mania to desperation. With a final haunting gaze, they disappeared into the shadows, leaving me shaken and terrified. The police arrived, investigating the hidden room and the stranger's bizarre obsession with the gas station. The gas station, once a mundane outpost, had become the backdrop for a night of madness and terror. As I watched the police apprehend the stranger, I couldn't shake the feeling that the shadows within the gas station held secrets darker than I could have ever imagined. The night swallowed the abandoned factory in a shroud of darkness, and I, the lone security guard, patrolled its desolate halls with a sense of impending dread. The machinery, once a symphony of industry, now lay dormant, its echoes replaced by the eerie creaks of rusted gears and the distant howls of the wind. As I ventured deeper into the heart of the factory, a flickering light caught my attention. In a dimly lit corner, a figure emerged, a disheveled man with hollow eyes that seemed to reflect the emptiness of the forsaken place. His movements were erratic, as if puppeteered by unseen forces. "Who's there?" I called out, my voice echoing through the vast expanse. The man's head snapped in my direction, and a twisted grin spread across his face, sending a chill down my spine. He spoke in hushed tones, words that hinted at a dark pact made within the bowels of the factory. Reluctantly, I continued my patrol, the man trailing behind like a shadow. The machinery, long silent, seemed to stir with a spectral energy, creating an unsettling ambiance that resonated through the hollow chambers. As I approached the forgotten assembly line, a spectral silhouette materialized, a ghostly procession of workers trapped in an eternal night shift. The man whispered of the factory's dark history, the tragedies, the accidents, the lives consumed by the relentless pursuit of profit. Each step I took unveiled a layer of the factory's haunted past, the ethereal workers condemned to toil for an eternity. A sudden gust extinguished the feeble light of my flashlight, plunging the factory into oppressive darkness. Panic seized me as disembodied whispers filled the void, the ghostly workers' lamentations merging with the wind's mournful wail. The man's laughter echoed, a sinister chorus accompanying the factory's spectral symphony. Desperation propelled me through the labyrinthine corridors, each turn leading me deeper into the abyss of the factory's haunted legacy. Shadows danced along the walls, their movements mirroring the tormented souls eternally ensnared in this industrial purgatory. As I reached the heart of the assembly line, the man's whispers intensified. He revealed the factory's insatiable appetite for sacrifice, a sinister pact that bound the living and the dead. The machinery groaned to life, its rusty gears grinding with an otherworldly fervor. I stumbled upon a forgotten chamber, its walls adorned with cryptic symbols. The man's voice rose in a haunting incantation, a ritual that transcended the boundaries between the living and the spectral realm. The factory pulsed with an unnatural energy as the assembly line roared to life, a spectral workforce converging with the tangible world. Reality blurred as the factory transformed into a nightmarish dreamscape. The man's laughter reached a fevered pitch, merging with the cacophony of the ghostly workers. The boundary between the living and the dead dissolved, and I found myself caught in a surreal dance with the supernatural. In a moment of clarity, I uttered words of release, a plea for the factory to relinquish its spectral hold. The assembly line screeched to a halt, the ethereal workers dissipating like mist. The man's laughter faded, leaving behind an oppressive silence that reverberated through the once haunted halls. As dawn broke on the horizon, I stumbled out of the factory, the weight of its dark history lifted. The night shift, a harrowing journey through the realms of the living and the dead, had come to an end. The abandoned factory, now bathed in the soft light of dawn, stood as a testament to the price paid for unchecked ambition and the restless spirit seeking redemption.